Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Vijay Sridhar, and I welcome you to the second session on QuiComicker. I'm going to show you the new features that I brought into QuiComicker to make your workflow very easy and seamless. Before going in there, I just wanted to show you the public domain image library, pexels.com. Here there are wonderful pictures which are available for free, taken by great photographers, and you can use them in your comics as well. And remember, comic doesn't always mean a line art like your Spider-Man's Phantom or Popeye or Tintin, which used to be in the olden days comics. But nowadays, you can use your 2D art or 3D models, 3D pictures, or even the photographs, the cutouts from your photographs. If you can carefully remove the background from your friends and family from the photographs, you can use them in your comic and create a good scene or create some storyline out of it. It all depends on your creativity to achieve that. Now, to make that seamless, QuiComicker is at your disposal. So if you're using backgrounds, if you want to use a lot of backgrounds, Pexels is one such site. There are others, um, unsplash.com, pixabay.com, where you can find a lot of pictures. Without wasting any time, I will take you to QuiComicker. How does it look like and what are the different features? One thing that we need to note in QuiComicker, the going to be public version in a few days is that you're going to get all these libraries for free along with QuiComicker. The 7 libraries which are included, one backgrounds pack, 4 character elements, one vehicle images, and then some elements which might be required to show certain emotion or uh, certain scenario. I will take you through all of that in this video, but these are the libraries that are included in the package. So if I open QuiComicker 1.0.4 in this version, so it will open all the inbuilt libraries. The first thing that you will notice is the interface has changed from its previous version. The left side comic arrangement has gone to right side, and the right side one has come to left side. This is to make your work more and more easier. You can see bundles and images. Images is the one where the folder that is created in your My Documents, QuiComicker VS, under which there are multiple folders. All these documents appear in all these folders appear in images. If you are an artist who creates images for storylines, there you will maintain a core library, right? You will maintain one folder where your all your artwork is kept. So if you are such kind of artist, you can set your core library here. You can open this and select that folder and set it to your core library so that all your content is displayed here, and you can select the art which you want to put into your comic. Other things are just the same things as they existed in the previous video. So there are some backgrounds, there are some characters, uh, and then there are some text elements. Now the new part of it is you have speech bubbles which are handy. You don't have to search through all of this. You can just pick up which speech bubble is suitable to you. And there are text elements also. There are speech and text elements. Speech has this arrow like this pointing to the person who is speaking. And if it is a text element, then you have a pointless or a arrowless box where you can put some text. For example, blackboard, you want to put some text on the blackboard. This kind of these kind of images are also available. I also added a couple of other things. Thinking. This is a thinking because these are bubbles that are coming in. Thinking also is possible for any character. Now, external libraries is the one. You may have 10 folders of images which you want to use in your comic. All those 10 folders can be added here. I can select this. I can use this. I can go into my pictures, or I can go into my pictures and select, say for example, backgrounds. I select background. So backgrounds appears here. So all the backgrounds which are there in that, all the background images, these are copied from pexels.com. So all these images are shown here. So I can use this. I can have as many libraries or external folders uh, coming in here, and they will all be loaded for you when you open your work again next time tomorrow. So all of these libraries will be available at your disposal at your mouse click. All these folders are available for you as library. Now, if you're not an artist, but you still want to write a comic, you have a good storyline, uh, the application itself is packaged with certain libraries, and I will continue to put content, lot of content, uh, in the site vijayasridhara.in, where you can get that content. So these are the backgrounds that I have packaged along with this. There are many backgrounds I will show you. So let's organize them by just name. So there is a BG pack, there is a gentleman character called Dhruva, there is a sweet lady character called Dia, and there are elements. Now these are the elements I was talking about. There may be some blocks you want to place, maybe on the title page. There may be some bang that might have happened, uh, an explosion that might have happened, and you want to show it in your comic. Bang, or a crash, a boom, something. How bang is for a gunshot crash, or you want to look through the door. Door is slightly open and you want to look through it, that you want to depict. So there are these are also available. There are some question marks. Uh, there are trials of vehicles when they are fasting or speeding. And then there are a few other things which you can use. These are the elements. There is Martin, which is a comical male character. There is Melanie, a comical female character, and then there are vehicles which you might want to put into your comic. So these are the libraries that I'm packaging along with the application. So if we quickly create a comic, say for example, I want to create a comic called My First Comic. So generally, on a 16 by 9 ratio screens, leave the comic panel size as is. If you want to adjust it, you can do it later also, but ensure that your bottom margin is greater than the middle margin so that your page numbers can appear at the bottom. If your margin is not uh, proper, then the page number will go out of line there. The rest of the things are normal. So this is the first page. So as I said in my previous video, this is the dialogue number 2. The dialogue number 1 appears here. There will always be 2 panels on your comic page. If you want, you can get rid of them, one of them, by clicking toggle full page. So there will be usually 2 panels, and these are 16 by 9 ratio panels because you have mentioned in the project details 800 by 450. These are 16 by 9. If you want to change it, you can change it, but this ratio applies to each of these panels. And the dialogues can be there in both. You can double click and add a dialogue, or you can totally get rid of these dialogues, right? So there are no dialogues now. This is a first page. First page, usually we want it to be a cover page, so we will make it as full page, toggle full page. Okay, these are the thumbnails that will appear, and these are page controls. Page level controls are here. And what are these? These are overlay level controls. We will come to that. So I go to background pack. I will add earth color. So this is my cover page. So then I will go into elements. I will add something of this sort. If I I have added this image as overlay. This is called the overlay. The overlay controls are here. When you select an overlay, these controls are enabled. You can flip it horizontally, flip it vertically, send it to back, forward, cut, copy, and paste. And you can also delete. Delete can also be done by clicking this small red button at the right top corner of the overlay. Now, if you hold control and resize it, the aspect ratio is maintained. So it will become big or small, retaining the aspect ratio. If you release the control, you can make it small or big without any aspect ratio constraint. Again, if you hold control, it will again come back to its aspect ratio form. So retaining its aspect ratio a little and putting it here. Now you can see that it is clipped here. Though it is big, it is clipped here. If you don't want it to be clipped here, you just have to press unclip. So it will come on the top. This is not what you want. You want to clip it to the borders. So you will clip it here. Now you can have a title for your comic, whatever you want. And then what is a comic name? My first comic. So you want to add this character. So let's take one. I am holding control again, dragging this person so that the aspect ratio is maintained. And this. And then I can also go to another character, sweet character called Dia. I will double click her, one of the poses, and then I will try to resize it so that it is approximately to the size of our existing character. Now I want to place a title on this. I don't want to have any other image but except the title. So for that, you'll have to use one element called text transparent. Somewhere it will be there. Text bordered, text unbordered. If you use text bordered, if I double click, look at this. This overlay is selected. Now I am double clicking. It will ask me if I want to replace it. I will say no. So this is how the text bordered will look like. I am clicking this, but I don't want any border. So you can see that the font and the color can be set from these two buttons of this text box. So I will remove this. I don't want this. I want text unbordered. Now this is a little tricky because if you remove the text, you will not be able to identify or its position. So let's name it as my first comic and then change the font. Say whatever font you have on your system. Good font, maybe. Stencil 20. Okay. My first comic. Okay. And then color it yellow. My first comic. And you want to paste or put some block here. Block metal. I want to place a metallic block. I don't want to replace any content here. I will place a block here so that I can add more content here. So what kind of content shall I add? I will add the author name. I will just move it a little up. Move this one also up a little. And then put the author name here. So how do I put the author name? I select this, Control C, copy, and Control V, paste. So the element is pasted here. I will bring it here. Now it is at the back. So let's bring it to foreground. It has come. Let's change the color to black or something. double click it, and that's it. So once this is selected, if a selected item already exists and you're trying to select something else on the same thing, even if it is on the top of it, it will not get selected. And you just have to click it outside to unselect that one and then reselect this. If both are in the same place, if both are in the same place and one of them is selected, you cannot select the other. However, both are in the same place. Since it is outside of this, you can select this. But once this is selected, you cannot select something inside it unless you select outside and then come back here, right? So this is my first comic, first page. Now go to second page. How do I add a second page? I just press a new page. New page has come. Obviously, this is my cover page, so it will have a full page appearance. My second page will not have a full page appearance. So what do I want on this? I want a good background. So let's begin with some outside of the house or some landscape. This is my second page. I want to show the page number, so I will click this. So this is what I was talking. If your bottom border is too small, this page number will go out of line. And then the next landscape is this. Now here, what do you want to place? You can place something, a vehicle, or a car has just come. Let's reduce the size and keep it here. And let our character called Dhruva walk in. He is angry and he wants to say something. He may be thinking, or he may talk. Let's see what what we want. Horrible drive on the countryside. So he's annoyed. He wanted to meet his girlfriend maybe, or Nadia. So you bring in the and maybe you want her to turn to the right side instead of left, pointing to the left. You will say this. It's up to your convenience. Not always it is good to turn like this. And then come back to Dhruva and make him speak something. He smiles at this lady. So does the size make sense? Now the image is disappearing. You need to understand halfway at the border, the image will disappear. So we need to take care of that. Why does it happen? It happens because I'm clipping this to the second panel. The same image can be brought into the first panel as well. So I had to check to which panel does it belong. Is it to the first panel or second panel? So I'm only checking half part of it. If half part of it is residing in one panel, it belongs to that panel. If it is going beyond, then I am not allowing it to be there, or I'm making it vanish. So its size. So she may want to say something. So she says something. See how he complains. He was good to go with me anywhere before I said yes to his proposal. Right. So now this is coming out of bounds. So let's make it a little better. Isn't it wonderful? So you can save it as My first comic, the core folder is what that comes. You have saved your comic, everything is fine. What is the next step? Your next step is export the comic into comic file. Either you can export a comic file or images or both. So let's export both of them. If I export both of them, the folder gets 001 and 002. These two files have come. If you want to save them, you can see the page number also appears at the bottom, or the comic is also compiled. Do you want to see? Yes. So I compile the comic, it will open in comic viewer, right? So there are only two pages. If there are more pages, you can see in comic viewer. So isn't this wonderful that you can create comics out of not just 2D characters or line art, but you can also create it from your 3D characters or your photographs. Only thing is to remember JPGs go into the background, PNGs come to the foreground. So these are PNGs, the characters are all PNGs. These are PNGs because it has certain transparency on them. Whereas the background is a JPG. So cut, copy, paste operations, you have seen what is this. So if I remove clip, this is how they appear, all of them coming out. Sometimes you want this effect to be there coming out of the panel for XYZ reasons of your comic storyline. And but generally we don't want this, so this clipping is always enabled. If you want to remove clipping on a certain page, you can click this and disable this. And this is delete. The current object will be deleted, the currently selected overlay. These are overlay menus. These are sorry, overlay controls. This is page control, that page level. You can duplicate this page. Now you want to continue the discussion in the same background, in the same sequence. You want to add another character, or maybe change the discussion, only the speech boxes you want to change. So at that point in time, why do I want to add an empty page and put content again into it? For that, what I will do is I will it. So just replicate it. So here you have the same dialogue, exactly the same thing. You might want to change uh, these dialogues. You might want to remove. Maybe you don't want this guy, so you can click here or this close button. Either way, you will remove this and you bring in Dhruva again, maybe a content picture, and you want to put some content into it saying that I was only testing your patience. Something a little sarcastic, though he looks contented. Content. So you want to change this lady to something else. Yes, I want to change this lady to something else. Automatically the flip is applied and this lady's no. Remove this guy or replace it with another version of him. Copy and paste. So this will be set by Dhruva. I need to change the speech. This is what I wanted to convert it into. All right, let me save my comic, export it. I don't want images. Images can be helpful if you want to send these images in a folder, zip it and send it to somebody. But I would suggest send the users, send your friends comic file and the QuiCoC application itself. In QuiCoC application, you can open the .comic file and view that, just like we view it now. So this is the first page and this is the second page. There is no third page. First, second, and third page. So I will zoom in. You can also see the page numbers. Zoom out, sorry. You can see the page numbers. So isn't this beautiful? Now QuiCoC has other features like you can open the comic file from here directly. You can open a comic file from here, say this one. The file has opened. Or, or earlier comic file has opened, isn't it? Now it can also convert a folder of your images. For example, if I go here and say into my pictures, I just downloaded some content from pexels.com. So I will select the backgrounds and select my folder. It has converted it into a comic file and it says, do you want to open it? So I zoom out to see what is there. So these are the images that have come. And you can just send it across. It's easily unzippable. You can unzip using your WinZip or any other uh, software to unzip your comic.comic file. You'll have all the files with the same image quality as they had earlier also. So that is all in this video, and I'm happy to release this software in the next few days. I hope you'll grab one license for this, and I'm sure it will be so satisfying for you to create comics, stories, and storylines, or use the existing characters and from the bundles. Thanks a lot.